not playing as Kennedy. Oh, Eddie, you sneaky little bugger. But Amazing is there, and they're going to go straight up towards Yellow Star. That's going to be a solo player and a kill instantly.
Goes on towards Chuck, there's the ace in the hole, and Chuck goes down.
I don't believe the wall comes in. This could be carnage. This could be an ace.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Week 7 of the European League of Legends Championship Series, broadcasting live from our studio here in Cologne, Germany. I'm Joe Miller, along with Martin DeFiscio Lunga, and we're ready to bring you another 4 big games today.
We had some fantastic matches yesterday, and today promises to be just as amazing with the likes of Gambit versus Fnatic on the cards.
But before we look at today, let's take a look at some of the news from around the league, starting with the GPL Spring season, where AHQ and the Taipei Assassins continue to dominate their groups, with both of them currently sitting at 6-0. Still waiting to see and waiting to find out which teams can actually beat them.
And also we had the OGN Masters with more games yesterday as SK Telecom T1 took on CJ Entis. Both SK teams were able to beat Blaze and Frost to put them 2-0 up in this series, and the final game saw SK T1S and Blaze have a rematch where Blaze were able to get some revenge. The 2-1 win put SK Telecom T1 to 2-0 and kept them top of the table.
And of course here in Europe yesterday we saw Alliance finally picking up their first odd week victory as they kept Fnatic on that losing streak.
And that was followed by another very solid SK performance as they took out the Super Hot crew. And then Millennium, they fell too far behind and weren't able to come back against a fresh-looking Gambit team who had a break in Week 6.
And we finished the day with Roccat versus the Copenhagen Wolves. Roccat went with that double AP comp with Zazas playing LeBlanc up top, which actually the Copenhagen Wolves ended up coming out on top of. And as always, we continue to check in with you guys on Twitter, where you've been telling us about your favorite big moments in yesterday's matches. So let's take a look at your top 2 #LCS big plays from yesterday. Our first highlight comes from Svenskron's man drop after a Tibbers stun in their game against the Super Hot crew. That one was from Dennis Tau 1. He said, a bear drop and man drop. SK Gaming found the new Wombo combo. This is our second most tweeted about play. I like the move as well. They know that Nocturne is now not at least on that side. And here comes the Pantheon drop right in there. They're going for Mixer. The bear comes down on top of him as well. It's Candy Panda who picks up kill number 2. And the one that had everyone talking was that Frog and Flash over the Orianna ultimate against Peke. That came from Patrick Quintile. He said, Froggen needs a serious nerf. The Flash avoided Shockwave followed by the kill was just outstanding. This was your number 1 LCS big play.
We do see Shook coming in from behind. Peke is in trouble.
Oh, Peke is in trouble. There is a decoy in the Cyclone. Going to catch up Peke. Shockwave flashed away from. What a flash from Froggen. They pick up a kill. That was so well timed.
And the amazing thing about that one was the kill he got here plus the kill onto Cyanide was actually the reason he got early level 11 and also the Rod of Ages. So he popped the ultimate, Regis didn't expect the damage and just died down in the bot lane.
Yeah, amazing performance from Froggen. And remember guys, to keep sending those to us at LOL Esports and be sure to use the hashtag LCS Big Plays because we might just show yours in the show. But before we get today's games underway, let's check out where the teams currently are in the standings after yesterday's matches. Starting off right at the very top, we have a tie again. Gambit and Roccat both up there in the number 1 spot at 10 wins, 5 losses. They're followed by SK Gaming in 3rd, who went positive finally yesterday at 8-7.
And we have another tied 4th place with Copenhagen Wolves, Fnatic and Super Hot crew. We have Copenhagen Wolves on a 3-game win streak and Fnatic, they lost 8 games in a row now. 7th place, we have Alliance with 6 wins and 9 losses. And in the end, losing yesterday again, we have Millennium with only 5 wins and then 10 losses.
And here are the games that will change those rankings as teams continue to vie for that top spot. And, well, the first game is an absolute monster, isn't it? Fnatic versus Gambit. And then we'll move into the Copenhagen Wolves versus Millennium.
Then we have Alliance versus SK Gaming. Both teams won yesterday and look very strong. And then we end up with Super Hot Crew against Rocket. And that is actually a Rocket team who really needs to start winning. And after those games, we'll go directly into the European Challenger Series play-in round with 3 intense best-of-1 matches where Kobe and Freak will be calling the action.
And to further immerse yourself into the game, head over to lolesports.com where you can track all the statistics, check the schedule, watch VODs of matches and much more. Plus you can predict who will win their matchups today on the Rift.
Just go to the schedule link at the top of the page to see today's matchups and then vote on your picks. We'll be checking in throughout the show to see which teams you're actually voting for. And you can also find out how to get a seat in our live audience. You'll find everything you need to know at the tickets link, and you better hurry because the seats, they're going really, really fast.
And while you're on the interwebs, be sure to hit us up on Twitter at LOL Esports and tell us which European LCS Pro would you most like to have on your team and why?
I would probably pick someone like Aaron. I like actually the kind of motivation he brings in, and every time you do something good, you can hear it from him, and he backs you up motivation-wise.
The question is, would anyone want you on their team, Deficio?
Oh.
Only a joke. I'd have you on my team any day of the week. Remember to use the hashtag LCS in your responses, and we'll read our favorites later on in the show. Now let's send things over to